In this presentation, we will print reports from our personal QuickBooks file for our second month of operations, the month of February. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info. Here we are on the home page. We currently have the open windows open. You can open the open windows by going to the view drop-down and selecting the open windows list. We're now going to go to the reports drop-down. We're going to select our two main reports first, that being the balance sheet and income statement, by going to the company and financial, and then scrolling down to the balance sheet first. We'll take a look at the balance sheet first, balance sheet standard. Going to change the dates up top in the customize reports section, and we'll change the dates from, we're going to say it's going to be from January 01/01/20 to February 02/29/20. So that's January through February 29th for the year we're working out, 2020. And then we'll say OK. So this is going to be our balance sheet report. We're going to go ahead and print this out. We've got the checking account, we've got the IRA, we've got the credit card, and the equity. Not a whole lot of detail because we're focusing in on the activity, focusing in more on the income statement items, the temporary items, the items that measure performance. So we're going to go ahead and print this out by going to the print icon up top. We could go and save it as a PDF, which is our ultimate goal, but I will do that with the printer option, the printer PDF printer option, by going to reports and then selecting the Qt PDF printer. This is a free program you can download. I think it's useful to do so. And I'm going to go and print this item, and then it'll give us our printing window. We're going to enter this into an account called personal only, a folder that is, and put it into February. And then I'm going to call it something like, let's just call it a balance sheet. Let's call it a balance sheet for February personal. And we'll keep that'll be good for now. So we'll save that. And then we'll take a look at the profit and loss, the other main statement, by going to the reports drop-down, company and financial, taking a look at the profit and loss report. Going to change the date range from 01/01/20 to 02/29/20. So that's January and February. This showing the 2-month time period. And so we've got our personal income and expenses giving us the net income 17,402. This being the major statement we would need for things like tax preparation and budgeting typically. We're going to go ahead and print this one out by going to print, report, and then we're going to print it to the Qt PDF printer. Actually saving the report is what we're kind of doing here. I'm going to put this underneath the title so I can see what it is we're saving. It helps me to print it or type it. I'm just going to call it a P&L for January and February 2020 and save that. And then the next thing I want to do is basically see both months. So a couple ways we can do that. One way is to say the total column over here, I want to see the 2 months. So I'm going to go to months instead of total. And that'll give us January and February, and then the total as well. And that'll give us a little bit more detail, so we can see that comparison. And let's print this one out. We're going to go to the print up top once again, reports. And then it's going to be using the Qt PDF printer. And we will then have our window. Let's type this out. We'll make this a P and L Jan and February comparative 2020. So those are going to be the main reports we would want to take a look at on the personal side. We can note then that the profit and loss is really where we're focusing because we're entering this data from the bank statement, and the bank statement is showing what we're doing over time, and the profit and loss is what is happening over time. The balance sheet over here, if we go back to the balance sheet, is going to show us the activity and the equity, what's been accumulated over time, and of course the checking account are the main two things we're focusing in as we're entering data from the bank statement. The other items on the balance sheet, the more permanent accounts, we've dealt with a few of them, including the IRA individual retirement account, the credit card, and these are going to be types of things that we had to deviate from a cash basis because it just doesn't make sense to be on a cash basis completely with those items. And therefore we had to use kind of accrual. These are accrual accounts showing investments, and the investments are going to be something that we invested in, and then of course the credit cards, meaning we purchased something we haven't yet paid for. We kind of had to deviate from just a cash basis to get to those items. Other items on the balance sheet, we'd have to go through and think about more, how can we focus on the balance sheet on the personal side? Things like our home, things like our car, those types of things that are the large purchases, things like tracking investments. Those are types of things we'll have to think about a little bit separately, because they're not items that are just going to be something we will typically generate simply from following the cash on the bank statement. So we'll talk more about those at a later time. As we enter the data from the bank statement, we're typically focusing in on the activity, and that's the income statement. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info.